Hey everyone! Today, we're diving into some fascinating stuff about Jesus Christ, and I promise it's going to be an enlightening journey. We're exploring who Jesus is, how he's connected to the Old Testament, and why he matters so much in our lives. So what's the big deal about Jesus? Well, his life isn't just a story. It's a compelling case for his divinity. It's like putting together a giant puzzle, using pieces like prophecies, symbolism, and eyewitness accounts. A huge part of this puzzle is showing how Jesus fulfills Old Testament prophecies. For example, there's this connection between Jesus and the suffering servant in the book of Isaiah, the one who bears the sins of many. It's almost like the Old Testament was dropping hints about Jesus long before he arrived on the scene. But let's not stop at prophecy. There's also powerful imagery to describe Jesus, like calling him the bread of life. Now, why bread? In Jewish culture, bread is more than just food. It represents sustenance and life itself. So when Jesus talks about being the bread of life, he's offering something much deeper than just filling your stomach. He's talking about spiritual fulfillment, the kind that satisfies our deepest longings for truth and connection with the divine. It's like saying that seeking Jesus is the same as seeking the ultimate source of spiritual nourishment. Now, here's where it gets interesting. There's a contrast between those who seek truth and those who reject Jesus. Figures like the scribes and Pharisees didn't just disagree with him. They actively resisted the light because it exposed their actions. Light and darkness become powerful metaphors here. Light represents truth, knowledge, and God's presence, while darkness stands for ignorance, deceit, and separation from God. By choosing to stay in the darkness, these figures are essentially rejecting the path to spiritual growth that Jesus represents. But there's more. The importance of witnesses is emphasized. Think about it. Witnesses are crucial in court cases and historical research because they provide reliable evidence to back up claims. The same goes here. There are not only divine pronouncements, like the voice of God at Jesus' baptism, but also human witnesses, such as the disciples. These disciples were chosen specifically to learn from Jesus, to see his works firsthand, and then to share what they've seen and heard. One of the most talked about events is the wedding at Cana, where Jesus performs his first miracle by turning water into wine. It's more than just a cool party trick. The context of a wedding feast is a celebration of joy and abundance. By transforming ordinary water into extraordinary wine, Jesus signals his power to usher in a new era of spiritual abundance and fulfillment. It's like a glimpse into the transformative power he offers. So, when you put all these pieces together, prophecies, symbolism, eyewitness accounts, you get a carefully crafted argument for Jesus' significance. It's fascinating to see how early Christians worked to understand and explain who Jesus was. They weren't just accepting things at face value. They were building a logical, evidence-based case for his divinity. Now here's where it gets personal. How does this emphasis on witnesses and evidence resonate with you today? What aspects of these ideas do you find compelling? Are there parts that leave you wanting more? These are important questions to ponder as you continue your own exploration of faith and history. For me, the emphasis on witnesses is particularly compelling. In a world where we value evidence and testimony, it's intriguing to see how the early Christians understood the need for solid evidence to support their extraordinary claims about Jesus. They weren't just relying on divine pronouncements. They highlighted human experiences and testimonies as well. The use of light and darkness as metaphors also resonates deeply. It's a timeless concept, choosing between truth and ignorance, between growth and stagnation. This metaphor challenges us to reflect on our own lives and consider where we might be resisting the light, the truth, and the presence of God. And let's not forget the symbolism of the bread of life. In a time when many of us are searching for meaning and fulfillment, this image of Jesus as the ultimate source of spiritual nourishment is incredibly powerful. It invites us to seek deeper connections with the divine and to find sustenance for our souls. As you think about these ideas, consider how they fit into your own journey of faith. What does it mean for you to seek the bread of life? How do you respond to the light that Jesus offers? And how do the witnesses of his life and works impact your understanding of who he is? Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the life and teachings of Jesus. It's a journey that invites us to explore, question, and grow. I hope you'll take these insights and continue to ponder them as you navigate your own path of faith and discover more about what Jesus has to offer. Until next time, keep seeking, keep questioning, and keep growing in your understanding and connection with the divine. See you then.